When winter begins to tighten its icy grip over Eastern Europe, most nations prepare to endure the cold. But Ukraine? Ukraine waited for it, planned for it, and when the frost hit the Russian front lines, it unleashed one of the most daring precision strikes of the entire war. Imagine this: midnight over Belgorod, the wind howling through power lines, Russian soldiers warming their hands beside diesel heaters, unaware that within minutes, those same generators would fall silent forever. On September 28, 2025, Ukraine's Defense Intelligence, the HUR, executed an operation that military analysts are already calling the Winter Blackout. Using a fleet of AI-assisted drones and a single SH Shark reconnaissance aircraft, they pinpointed the Novyi Oskol substation, the very heart of Russia's Belgorod military grid. This wasn't just an attack on infrastructure. This was the digital equivalent of cutting off oxygen to a war machine. At exactly 0130 a.m., a coded signal went out. Fog Phantom Swarm initiate. And from somewhere in Kharkiv Oblast, a set of 4 HIMARS launchers roared to life. These weren't ordinary rockets. They were precision-guided GMLRS rounds, laser-locked, AI-navigated, and enhanced with chaff countermeasures to confuse Russian radar. The Shark drone, flying at treetop level, painted the target with an invisible beam. Below it, a decoy swarm of FPV drones zigzagged across the radar horizon, spoofing the Krasuha 4 jammers and S-400 missile batteries. Think about that for a second. Ukraine's engineers turned $1,000 FPV drones into ghosts capable of blinding billion-dollar Russian air defenses. It's like David not just defeating Goliath, but hacking his eyesight first. And then it happened. 4 flashes, 4 thunderclaps that shook the Belgorod night. In an instant, 1.5 million Russians were plunged into darkness. The HIMARS strike ripped through the substation's transformers, crippling not just lights, but the entire military logistics grid. Radar stations, fuel pumps, communications hubs, all gone in a blinding electric storm. The blackout stretched 60 miles deep, silencing the heartbeat of one of Russia's key staging areas. For Ukraine, this wasn't revenge. It was message delivery. We can see you, we can reach you, and winter belongs to us. But what's truly astonishing isn't the explosion, it's what came after. Russia scrambled emergency power, mobilized engineers, and deployed the very same S-400 systems that had failed minutes before. Yet the real damage wasn't physical, it was psychological. Russian units reported confusion, fear, even desertion. One intercepted transmission caught a soldier whispering, "They hit us where we sleep." And that's when you realize this wasn't just a blackout of lights, but of confidence. Ukraine had turned winter, Russia's oldest ally, into its most dangerous weapon. And here's where it gets chilling. This operation wasn't a one-time stunt. Ukrainian intelligence hinted that Fog Phantom is only phase 1 of a broader winter offensive. The Shark drones are evolving, capable of marking targets through snowstorms, cloaked under electromagnetic silence. Which begs the question, if this was the opening move, what's the endgame? Could the next blackout strike deeper, perhaps even within Russia's border command itself? Stay with me, because what happens next might change everything you think you know about drone warfare. As dawn crept over Belgorod, satellite images began flooding NATO feeds. A scorched substation, charred transformer coils, a blackout map spreading like ink across western Russia. The Russian Ministry of Defense called it an electrical failure. But let's be honest, HIMARS doesn't cause electrical failures. It causes electrical annihilation. And yet here's what most people miss. This wasn't about the explosion. It was about the orchestration, a symphony of deception, timing, and sheer technological nerve. The operations nerve center was a hidden HUR command post in eastern Ukraine, where officers monitored the Shark's feed in real time. Every heartbeat of that mission relied on precision. A second too early and the missile locks break. A second too late and Russian counter-jamming scrambles the signal. The success window? 4 seconds. 4 seconds that rewrote the rules of modern warfare. Now think about this. Why strike in winter? Because cold slows everything. Fuel gels, batteries weaken, response times lag. Ukraine weaponized nature itself. And while Russia dug into trenches, Ukraine turned frost into firepower. Here's the kicker.
The Fog Phantom swarm wasn't just about stealth. It was a testbed for autonomous coordination. These drones weren't manually flown. They were networked, learning from each other mid-flight through shared AI data loops. Imagine hundreds of tiny machines thinking together, deciding how to dodge radar, where to scatter chaff, and how to mimic false missile signatures, like an electronic mirage in the sky. It's genius and terrifying. But let's pause, because there's irony here too. For decades, Russia boasted about its superior air defense systems, its impenetrable shields. Yet on one freezing night, a handful of Ukrainian technicians, a few AI algorithms, and less than $1 million in equipment cracked that shield wide open. That's not just military brilliance, it's poetic justice. So where does this leave us? Winter is only beginning. Russia's grid is vulnerable, morale is fracturing, and Ukraine's tech edge is accelerating faster than anyone expected. And if you think HIMARS and Shark drones are impressive now, wait till you see what's next. The HUR's next-generation system, rumored as EchoVale, might make this blackout look like a warm-up act. So as you sit in your warm home watching this unfold, ask yourself, what happens when war goes silent? When the battlefield is no longer explosions, but invisible code and laser beams? Because that's where this war is heading, and Ukraine is already 2 steps ahead. If you want to see what Ukraine's next strike could look like when drones hit a Russian train station in broad daylight, click the next video. Ukraine drones strike Russian train station. Then this happened. Don't miss it, because history isn't just being written, it's being programmed.